Pinaplano ngayon sa Alfonso, Cavite ang Kalipayan Natural Farm na sikat sa Pulilan, Bulacan.
Istorya ng mga tagumpay, kwento ng buhay na binago, tatalakayin natin dito. Lahat yan masaya, matutunghayan sa Agri Ako Diyan.
Pangarap ni Nicole Alicer Casemi na magtatag ng ikalawang Kalipayan Farm. Samit-saring tanim ang makikita rito sa kagubatan gagawing isang pasyalan para sa mga turista. Ang main attraction dito, ang Liberica Coffee. Kasama ko ngayon si Miss Nicole ng Kalipayan Farm.
Hi Amy, welcome to Kalipayan Farms Cavite, Alfonso. So as you can see, we are in an agroforest right now. This is very different from our first branch, which is in Pulilan, Bulacan, where we have a restaurant and a garden around. So how it started actually was really interesting kasi when I was young, meron kaming Kalipayan Farms in our restaurant, no, near where I live.
Yun na yun sa Pulilan.
Actually, this was when I was very young.
Okay.
Tapos, sabi ko, parang yung Kalipayan is actually means happiness from our dialect, which is Waray. I'm from Leyte, Dulag, and Tacloban. And then it closed. And then I realized when I was already a bit older and I was trying to go back to my roots that parang bagay yung Kalipayan Farm sa isang farm. No? So dinala ko siya sa Pulilan kung saan I was working with the local government there at kino-convert namin yung conventional farming wherein the use of a lot of synthetic fertilizers to natural. So it's a technology na luma. Actually, the Japanese and the Korean brought it here. And that's what we use. No? Essentially, in a nutshell, it's about using fermented concoctions that create microorganisms. Similar to what you can see naturally in an agroforest.
So, bakit mo napili dito sa Alfonso, Cavite?
So actually, this was a property na idle for a really long time. My mom was able to see it. My mother-in-law was able to see it and said, parang ang ganda nito, no? So sabi niya, I'll invest in it. Wala pa akong plano dito. So 10 years after, it's still here. We still haven't done anything. But today, I'd like to share with everyone na we're actually harvesting our very rare, unique variety of Liberica coffee trees. So yun po yung message ko to everyone, no, na even if may idle farms kayo, alamin ninyo anong meron sa inyo at mga pwede nyo ng pakinabangan.
Ang maganda kasi dito, meron kang coffee trees na mahirap buhayin. Sa totoo lang hindi siya kaya overnight. It takes years bago ka maka-harvest sa coffee. Eh ito, nabili mo siya na parang i-harvest mo na lang.
Correct. So I think that's some benefit, no, for most of the families or people that have owned land. It's actually mostly forest, until you really landscape it or use it for monoculture type of agriculture. But if you actually land into a piece of land, right, it's actually full of trees. So I think the challenge is that many cut the trees. But here in Kalipayan Farms, we really promote natural, we promote agroforestry, we promote permaculture, and soon biodynamic, no? Wherein we really follow the weather. So as you can see, everything here is as it is. I did a topography. So now I can say that I have 100 coffee trees.
100
No?
coffee.
Yes.
Anong varieties to?
So it includes Robusta, which is yun yung mas common, no? Medyo mas bitter yung tasting nun. And then there's two types of Liberica, which is the Barako that they say. Ito po yung only grows 2% globally in the world.
Wow.
And they're endemic in Africa, but now they were brought to the Philippines and it grew beautifully well. So trees grow 5 to 20 years. These are already 25 years. And as you can see, napaka-abundant ng kanyang flowering, no? Itong mga clusters na ito ang richness, no? Even if it's a very old tree already.
Saka 5 to 20 years, ito, ilang age na to?
So I think this is about 15 already or so na years. Yeah.
Talagang i-harvest mo na.
Yes. So every year, you harvest every year. And commonly, people would think na magle-lessen yung harvest nila. Pero with these trees, parang they're actually increasing pa. So we can see that there is resilience and with this kind of harvest, no? Kasi ang sabi nila, ang Liberica is climate resistant and it can adapt to the different changes of the weather. So in agroforestry, you can see that everything that grows and exists here are climate resilient. Therefore, they have the nutrients to survive. So, ang assumption ko na lang is maybe when I drink it and, consume it, then it gets passed on to me as well.
Ito ba na-try mo na?
So, these, I haven't tasted it.
Okay.
Personally, actually, I didn't know the value of it until I was able to speak to an expert of coffee. So, coffee actually goes through a process, no? From production, which is this stage, you have to get it at its sweetest, which is the color of wine.
Color of
No,
wine.
yes. And then
ito
after
hindi pa
that,
to.
so this actually, baka mga 15 pa lang to na sugar, no? So, your goal is mga 20 or more, ganyan. So we wait a little bit longer until it reaches that kind of a color. But not too long that it dries in the tree, no? So,
Mga
so
ilang days pa to?
siguro ito, mga 2 weeks pa to.
2 weeks.
So after 2 weeks, we will harvest it and then it goes through a process of fermentation. So the higher sugar content can also help with the complexity of the flavor of your coffee. And then after that, it actually goes to roasting na. In the Philippines, hindi pa ganun ka-robust ang ating coffee appreciation. Kasi globally, there's actually a center for excellence, coffee excellence already, standards, no? So, for this batch, we will be actually sending it to Japan, where the buyer is from, and he will be roasting it there.
So meron ka ng
yes,
buyer.
yes, we have a buyer already who's buying it at premium, and then we don't even have, we just have to produce it, and then there's a processor, and then it goes to him na. So we will see, no, the standards that we're able to reach. So ang sabi nga nila sa Philippines, mahirap tayo mag-compete sa maramihan, so doon tayo sa quality. Kasi as you can see later, we will be hand-picking it one by one, as opposed to stripping na common na ginagawa ng mga ibang farmers kasi yun ang nakagisnan nila.
Nakasanayan, oo.
Pero pag ginagawa mo kasi yun, nawawala din yung quality niya kasi magkakasama yung green, yung red, tsaka yung very sweet, no? So, hindi na ma-maximize, bale, yung kanyang fullest flavor.
Oo. So, ito, hindi pa to pwede. Kailangan pa natin maghintay ng 2 weeks for this. Baka nagtataka sila, bakit may basket? Bakit
Yes.
may bag? Kasi may i-harvest na tayo.
Correct. So, actually, we wait week on week. So, whoever able to reach the purple or the wine color, then we harvest it na.
Yung Liberica, mas mahal to sa market.
Yes, oo. This is the highest of value. Kasi nga, yung kanyang taste is sweeter, aromatic. So later, I think you can describe to your viewers how it smells like, no? So that's what I love about planting. It's about the characteristic of the plant. It has all the senses that you can see visually, smell, and also taste, no? So, and then because you're able to maximize the processing, it's like everybody is able to taste it like they were here with us today, smelling it, no? So that's the best part about doing quality standard, because you're able to preserve all of that in the whole process up to your table.
So, kanina pinag-usapan natin, in 2 weeks, pwede na to i-harvest. Pero, magkano ba to pwedeng ibenta?
So, interesting yung pricing, no, when it comes to this. So, pag nag-harvest ka ng Liberica na fresh, they price it now at 30 pesos per kilo.
30 pesos
Yes.
per kilo.
Now,
Fresh.
if you process it, you dry it, and you get the green bean, it becomes 300 pesos per kilo. So this is a better rates rather than what they do now when they do stripping. It's about 70 pesos for 10 kilos worth.
Liberica din yun.
Any kind. So right now, some farmers don't distinguish between the different varieties of coffee. But because we were participating in a lot of ASEAN and global, we know that there's already a global standard. And it really starts with our production process. So that's something na I think na magandang matutunan natin para we can be able to have better value for less effort, diba? And be able to really get the value of the effort and the beauty that we have in our farms. I think the first thing you need to think about is if it's a place that you can imagine living in. That's one. So when you think about that, you think about safety also and security, no? Is it a place where not much calamities can cross over, no, in your land?